Okay, I see you got a new phone. Show me, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, what phone is this? It's the Realme C21Y. It got released recently from Realme and it's a budget phone in their C lineup. It comes in at only 21,000 Pakistani rupees, and this is the camera review of the Realme C21Y. You're watching the Lazy Reviewers, and let's start off with the specs of the Realme C21Y. Talking about the camera, we have a pretty simple setup on the back. We have a 13 megapixel main camera, and along with that we have a depth sensor and a 2 megapixel macro sensor. And other than that we have a flash, and the camera module on the back looks really good. It's a square design with barely any camera bumps, so it doesn't disturb you that much while playing games or holding the phone and watching videos. Moving on to the front of the phone, we have a dewdrop notch type display, and the camera here is the, I don't know, let me check. Okay, so the front camera is a 5 megapixel sensor. Okay, I see why they did not list it on the back of their box. Okay, so the front camera is just a 5 megapixel sensor, nothing too fancy, nothing good even. Now let's take a look at the camera app and see all of the features that Realme has put into this phone. Okay, we have our camera logo right on the main screen. You can see it starts off in the capture mode. I have disabled all of the beautification options. As you can see, they're all turned off. In the leftmost side we have the option to record video, and for that we have these three options, which is 480p, 720p and 1080p. You do not have a setting for variable refresh rates on your video. In the capture mode you have options like Google Lens, Flash, HDR, beautification, and in the settings you can set up storage paths, you can set your volume key to take pictures, you can use your fingerprint sensor to take pictures, and you can see that the pixels are saved in 13 megapixels. We have picture qualities, just put it to super fine, it's not going to be any different. And you can add the watermark of the phone, it'll put a title of the phone in the bottom left, and not much else. Other than that, we have a lot of options in this beautification mode. We do not have an ultra-wide lens on this phone, so there's no option for that. In portrait mode, you have the ability to set your focal length, aperture, not focal length. In the more options tab, you can take burst pictures, you can add filters, take time lapses. You also have a pro mode, which gives you access to all of these settings. And you can take a panorama, slow motion, macro, and night mode pictures. Okay, now let's take a couple of pictures of this plant and see how the camera performs. It's gone. My aperture marker is gone. It's blended into the background. Okay, that's pretty much all this camera does. We can also take videos. Here is the video recording from the back camera of the Realme C21Y. You can also hear the microphone from the same phone. Moving on to the front camera, here you can see that it is indeed 5 megapixels. You can also hear the audio from the front camera of the Realme C21Y right now. And moving on to picture mode, you can see that there is no detail and there's a lot of noise. So that's pretty much it about the camera app. Now let's talk a little bit more in detail about the picture and video results. Okay, the camera on the new phone from Realme, the C21Y, is not great. Even for the price, it's pretty mediocre. It has a really bad front camera and it's only 5 megapixels, so there's no detail in it. And from the back camera, yikes, there's a lot of bad things about the camera. There's too many shadows, there's a lot of smoothing going on even with the beautification turned all the way down. On top of that, the colors are really weird. They're oversaturated in some areas, and from the front camera, there is almost like no saturation. You can see in the color of the shirt in the background, it's like no color. The only thing good, mediocre from the back camera was the portrait mode, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. Other than that, the slow motion is a good addition on this phone. Not much good about this phone. For the price, it's mediocre at best. Okay, that's pretty much it about the camera review of this phone. If you liked the video and you enjoyed it, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more to the point unboxings, reviews, and much more. Don't buy this phone.